Hey, what's up? And you're listening to KCSB FM 91.9 in Santa Barbara. This is my show, Happy But On My Way, where I usually play a new label every week. I'll do a little bit of backtracking real fast. You just heard from Lowercase with their song Because I Can. Before that, you heard Unwound with their song Demons Sing Love Songs. And before that, you heard Duster with their song 4 Hours. I am not playing a label this week. This week, I have a special guest. This week, we have Sprain. They came in from LA. Did you guys want to say what's up? All right, so... Oh, shoot. Are you guys all set?
Yes.
All right.
Are we on the air right now?
Yeah.
Oh, great. We're ready.
Sounds good. Take it away, guys.
be the one you hate the most. I'll be your Jesus Christ. It makes me feel so small. Feel so small. Thank you.
So I guess we'll do 2 more, and then we'll talk. Thanks for listening, everybody.
That song's called Slant, and this one's called Snowing. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you very much.
And you're listening to KCSB FM 91.9 in Santa Barbara. This is Sprain. Thanks for listening. They're our special guest for the evening.
Bells in my monitor.
Is everybody ready?
Take
Thank you. So I think that's all right. Those are our 3 songs. So we're gonna take like a tiny break to talk, I guess.
Heck yeah, guys! Thanks for playing.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, for sure. For those of you listening, this is Sprain. You're listening to KCSB FM 91.9 here in Santa Barbara. You guys want to introduce yourselves?
I'm Alex.
I'm April.
I'm also Alex.
And I am Max.
Yeah, heck yeah. Thanks for coming all the way up to Santa Barbara. How was your guys' drive?
It was beautiful.
It's super beautiful.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, thanks so much for having us. We're really happy to be here.
Yeah, dude, for sure.
Yeah.
What songs did you guys play?
So we played a song called Slant. That's a new song. A song called Snowing.
That's on our EP.
That's off of our EP. A song called Worship House. And that's a new one. And then we're going to play 2 other new ones today and 1 familiar one off the EP. So,
Heck yeah, that's sick. You guys coming out with anything new soon?
yeah, we're going to... Sorry, I'm having voice cracks. I was just yelling a bunch. Yeah, we're coming out with stuff hopefully this year. I don't know when, but we're going to go into the studio pretty soon. So...
May 5th.
May 5th.
May
Studio days, May 5th. So,
Wow, coming up.
yeah, it's coming up.
That's exciting.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, dude, looking forward to that. You guys want to continue?
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, let's do it.
Sounds good. And you're listening to KCSB FM 91.9 in Santa Barbara. This is Sprain. Thank you for listening.
Hey, April. Don't forget though.
that's just so out of my reach.
So here's another one off our EP. This one's called Deliver Us. That last song was called This Sorry Century. Get my big quest already.
Yeah, thanks again to everybody listening. That's cool. Thanks KCSB for having us also. Thanks for the sweet Mon mix on that super difficult song. That was good.
All right, we're just gonna play songs.
I do my part by not killing spiders. I'm entertained by the drawing of paint and accepting kisses from strangers. My ego crushes all my good intentions. The amount of people born and dying each day should make you question your importance. And after all the stupid tasks of each and every day, I get rewarded by having time to get my silly thoughts and silly worries sorted into little phrases that don't mean anything. They make me smile, and for a while I will forget everything. Between the cracks, the burns, jealousy inside of me as I crazy path where mighty trees I touch your soul. There we go, to the liberty child that flies and ushers a new era of disappointment.
Thank you. This is our last song. Thanks for having us. We're playing at a house on Friday with Vern Rumsey from Unwound with his new project. So DM me for the details. I can't give the house info away, but you can find that event on our Facebook or Instagram or whatever. So thanks so much for having us. This is our last song. And come see us and Vern.
Waste of space.
Thank you all. We're Sprain.
Yo, that was so sick. I've been wanting to see you guys for a while. I'm hyped you guys got to come into the studio.
Oh, sweet. Glad we got to come play with you. Honestly, this is kind of more fun in some ways.
Heck yeah. And you're listening to KCSB FM 91.9 in Santa Barbara. For those of you just tuning in, you just missed Sprain. If you're listening beforehand, hell yeah.
Blew it, pal.
You guys blew it. You guys want to do some backtracking? What songs are those?
Yeah, let's do it. I'd love to. Wait, what? What are we doing?
We played This Sorry Century and Deliver Us, which is on our EP. And
the
Bridge.
last one is Untitled, but we call it Dirge. Or Funeral, one of those two.
Oh, heck yeah. And you guys got to keep an eye out for the new stuff. But studio dates May 5th?
May 5th, yeah.
May 5th.
We're going to start that.
We're going to begin.
Yeah, keep an eye out.
Yeah.
And they got a house show coming up too, so DM them for that. Follow them on their socials. Go to their shows, buy their merch, you know.
Yeah. Thanks so much, everybody.
Oh, yeah. The tapes, we only have like a handful of those, so if you want one, we aren't going to
I think
make more.
there's only 8 left, and we're not going to make any more, at least not for a long time. So if you want an original press,
Yo, cop that before they blow
Yeah,
up,
cop
and it's
that.
like super rare to get one and like super expensive on Discogs. Where can you get those?
you can get them off our Bandcamp, or you can get them through a very nice small tape label called Joyless Youth Home Recordings.
Yo, that's sick.
Yeah.
Or you
Shout
can
out
come
to
to a
Chris.
show.
Chris, if you're listening, I love you, man.
And also, yeah, that guy's
Yeah.
a sweet guy.
Yo, heck yeah, Chris. Yo, so you guys just went on tour. How was that? Who'd you guys play with?
We played with a cool number of people. We played with Vern Rumsey and his project. Vern Rumsey is the ex-bassist of Unwound, so we played with him. We played with interesting band called the Cronkmen. We played with Drouse.
That's sick. Drouse is really tight.
Drouse is one of my favorite bands.
Yeah, Drouse for sure is sick.
We played with what else do we play with? Anyone? Super
I saw
Eastern Westerner.
Oh, yeah.
Oh
Those
yeah,
guys are great.
they're sick. Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
I saw that you guys played with House Scandinavian as well. They just came through and played in IV, which is our town.
Oh,
But,
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, House Scandinavian is great. They're going to be at the house show on Friday. They're playing too.
oh, sick.
Yeah.
So, yeah, DM them for the address again. Go to that.
Yeah, hit me up.
Have you guys ever played on the radio before? Is this your first time?
We played on KXLU before we left for tour, so maybe a month ago, a little bit over a month ago. We played on KXLU, and we did a kind of radio thing, Part-Time Punks with Michael Stock. Also, thank you, Michael Stock.
Yeah, dude, Part-Time Punks is super sick. KXLU is tight. They're part of like our same radio network. So
Oh,
like we
great.
see them at like all of our conferences and stuff. So shout out KXLU.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, you guys played with Duster recently, right? That's
Yeah,
a
we
pretty
did.
big deal.
Yeah, it was cool. They're really cool guys.
How'd you guys get on that bill?
Michael.
Michael Stock. I think he likes our band.
They also have some cool new stuff that they played too.
Yeah, Duster has some new songs. I think Duster's coming out with a new EP, so
Oh, that's
we
crazy.
have that to look forward to. Yeah. for
Yeah,
sure.
look out for that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, dude. So like, you guys want to talk about like your songwriting, like I guess like process? I don't know.
Yeah, sure. Is that the question, or is there
Yeah,
more
yeah.
details? Okay. Well, I guess it starts off with an idea that one of us have that we flesh out over months and months and months of just constant rewriting and whatnot, and kind of like learning what we like and don't like about the piece until it becomes the what is colloquially referred to as a song. Yeah.
That's sick, man.
Yeah, I think we learn a lot like playing them live. I think they've started one way and ended up another way. So I think us playing as much as possible has been a big part
Yeah, that's sick.
of that part of writing songs.
You guys have anything else to say? Or
Thanks so much. Thanks to Michael and Chris
And
and
Eric.
Eric Lamers. Thanks so much, everyone who supports us constantly, and we hope to catch you guys soon. And
Also, Dylan's outside, so shout out to Dylan for
oh
hanging
yeah,
out.
shout out to Max's girlfriend Dylan. She's a lovely individual. Yeah, but thank you so much for having us, and we'll be around. We're playing lots of shows, and hopefully we have some good news with the new record and whatever else comes.
Yeah, thanks so much for coming through. Did you guys want to come into the studio and spin some stuff? Or
Yes.
Yes.
yeah, let's do it then.
All right, great.
There you have it. You're listening to KCSB FM 91.9 in Santa Barbara. This is Happy But On My Way. Sprain is going to come into the studio and play some music, so stay tuned for that.